Hey everybody, it's June 1st and it's a Wednesday, and I'm going to turn the camera. It is maybe not easy to see through here, but it is pouring rain, which has interrupted my preparation for my tag sale, or as it's called, an estate sale, and I think some people say rummage sale. And I think it's it has a lot to do with regional differences in terminology. I think I may look that up because there's a few more. Yard sale. But in Connecticut, pretty much tag sale. Or if you're trying to really make a profit, it's the estate sale. Half the time, those two are the same two things. But, you know, do what you will. Maybe I'll advertise it as an estate sale, and perhaps I'll make more money. Who knows? But I'm going to check back in later, because right now all I'm really doing is blocking the camera there, I see, and also I don't have much more to say. So until later. Hey everyone. I've been interrupted so many times today this is one thing about filming in the car. I guess I could ignore the phone calls, but really there's some that you can't ignore. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something that's been happening lately that I've noticed, and it was, I had mentioned it before, it was appearance, and our appearances of how we our appearance, how we look, how we're perceived by other people. And of course, I have always been very on the fringe, very individual. I just don't really, go along with the regular standards of whatever's going on, being either into black, always wearing black, gothic stuff. I have every color hair under the sun and whatnot. That irrelevant. I'm just talking about myself as far as what I've done. And I think we strive for that kind of equality in the world and in our country. Let's just keep it to the country, where none of that should make any difference. Unfortunately, the truth of the matter is there is a certain amount of professionalism that goes along with how you appear. So obviously, if I have to go to something that requires formal attire, I wear it. I just happen to wear it in black, and whatever. But the point being is, you have to recognize sometimes that we would like things to be one way, we'd like it to be ideal, but it isn't. And the truth of the matter is, there are places that you're not going to be taken seriously if you don't conform to a certain look, which I find to be horrible. Now, on that same token, I remember being in my teens and early 20s, and if you had, regular colored hair, as in blue, red, purple, green, whatever, which all of the above, or if you had long hair still, and there were still, basically like, you fucking hippie comments. Now, you're talking about the hippies from the 60s, and this is still going on in the 1980s and 90s, but since then, I of course there's been a change. I remember not being able to, as a male, I had 2 earrings or 3, I think, in my ear many years ago, and I had to take them out for a bank teller position, which I didn't work out well at, and didn't stay long, and my dad got me the job because he knew someone to give me a shot, and basically I needed to make some money for a while, and it just wasn't for me. But the point being is, any female in the bank who worked at the bank could wear, big hoop earrings, and I had these tiny little studs, and, they would always ask me to take them out, which I didn't most of the time, and, so it goes. But
from that time till now, I mean, now I've seen people who are working in the same capacity, not usually a bank. Banks try to stay fairly conservative, but even in a bank, you know, you see some guy and he's got, you know, 40 different pieces of metal in his face and tattoos, and good for him is what I say. I think everyone should look as you want to, but it just kind of made me laugh a few times when I'd be going, you know, fairly conservative considering, you know, okay, so I wear a lot of dark colors and my hair was colored once in a while. You know, that's about it. But, you know, so things have changed a lot, but unfortunately, I still believe, like I was toying around with, you know, I'm very active in a lot of pursuits as far as, you know, I get very enthused about things politically, and I've had a few friends who have run for office and known a few people in office and things, and, you know, it makes you toy around with the idea, but I tend to wonder if that would, how that would go over these days. I mean, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. But I have a feeling that it would make a big difference. And I'm going to close this part down right now because I'm getting to, I'm picking my wife up. She's at my in-laws' house. And anyway, I just think I'd like to hear people's comments about that and their thoughts. To end up, I'll say this. I thought long and hard about politics and, you know, representation in my state and things of that nature. And I think it's a decision that you have to be crystal clear on before you make such a large decision. And I would want to be sure that I wanted to do it for the right reasons, because I think that is, whether you're talking about either party or independent, whatever, that's one of the biggest problems I think we're facing, is that they're not, a good majority of the people that seem to be either have lost their luster for it because they've been discouraged, or they aren't there for the right reasons. So that's it for now. I'm gonna check back in later and hopefully have maybe some follow-up comments on that. All right, until later. All right, let's see where Leopold is. Leopold. A lot of stuff in here, so he usually, that's what I was afraid of. I think he got pretty scared probably, and now he's hiding somewhere. So, still cleaning out a bunch of the house. There you are. Hi, Mr. Leopold. Come on, let's get a treat. Come on. Come on, bud. Leopold. Come on. Come here. There. See, he's definitely freaked out. I'm gonna go shake the treat bag and let's see what happens. And let's see where I put my hand there all the time. Leopold, come down here. This is the magical thing. And there he goes. Leopold, come on up. Buddy, here, you wanna use the chair? Okay, and here he is. So, Leopold's all set. Great, I wasn't filming. I just found Basil. Basil. Hey there. Hello. Yep, that's you. And you weren't really scared, were you? Okay. Good boy. I just screwed up the film, so basically I found him though. So till later. Hey everyone, just checking in again. I'm heading back to my house briefly to check on Leopold and Basil, because we had a really bad thunderstorm, which more than likely Basil just slept through. But Leopold, I'm sure, is totally freaked out, so I'm going to check on him and see how he's doing. But I did have a topic that I was going to do in the car while I'm driving, so I'll cut this short. Maybe this is where I'll put in a little video footage of Basil and Leopold, and then I'll get back to you in a bit.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just wanting to finish off the day, June 1st today. Probably going to splice together a couple things from the last 2 days and tonight and earlier today, because I unfortunately got very busy and wasn't able to really piece something together for the last 2 days that was something that I felt was coherent and actually really had a point. Hopefully I can use some of that footage from the other 2 days in something else. But what I was speaking about earlier was appearance and how ideally it shouldn't matter, but I believe it does, and I think I already went over that already enough. But you know, it also comes down to classic folklore, whether you're talking about Odysseus returning and just being in clothes, or also being not just peasant's clothes, but it had been so long, being 20 years, that his former servant didn't recognize him and still treated him with hospitality. And so you have many of these kind of things with an incognito king somewhere who goes about amongst the peasants and you know, basically sees how he's treated, or he or she is treated, a king or a queen. And you know, even though this is really just folklore, I mean, perhaps, I'm sure it's happened. Actually, I've heard of, and I hate to put it that way because I haven't researched this, but I do believe I've heard of times when, you know, people who have a great deal of wealth have, you know, really made the day of someone who was struggling, and, you know, by doing something of that nature, you know, secretly giving them a tip for $10,000 or something for a $20 meal. But the point being, I guess, for this is just to sum up and say, it's foolish to judge by appearances, because I have such a wide range of people that I associate with and that I know, and the difference in their appearance, and also very much to do with their financial status, can be wildly different. And just to make the assumption, because someone is you know, dressed well and looks the part, it's you know, not always true. I mean, there are grifters who do such a thing. So anyway, no, I'm not going to go off on that tangent too much. I'm rather tired. I hope to get back to working on the cemetery, East Cemetery in Litchfield, really in-depth tour, walking tour, and of course the other matters that have to do with disability and liability and cancer recovery and whatnot. But for tonight, that's where I'm going to leave it. And as always, be kind to one another, including yourself. Be kind to yourself, but be kind to one another whenever you can, which is almost all the time. And always be kind to animals. And Basil was here, but he's disappeared again. So that's all I have to say. Good night and peace.